Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrik Sadloň, and I'm gonna tell you something about how we deliver a game world for truck simulating games. Let me first introduce our company. SCS Software is based in Prague and makes trucking games since 2002. Our first games, maybe you remember old series 18 Wheels of Steel. Our first games were more arcadey, but today, after 15 years of development of experience, we can call them true truck simulators, as we simulate pretty much everything what would you possibly experience with trucks. We are the lead power in truck simulators with our two main projects. Euro Truck Simulator 2, released 5 years ago, and American Truck Simulator, released 2 years ago. Our games are mostly distributed by Steam. We offer them as a service, which comes with some base map, and then you can buy some DLCs to extend the content. Some of them are paid, some not. And beside those DLCs, we release free updates, bring in some new features, options, trucks, improvements, and fixes. We are strong thanks to our community of players that help us in many ways. Most of them are real truck drivers, and we do games for a relatively specific group of players, unique group of players. As I said, they are truck drivers, and their support, but mostly feedback to our games, help us to grow. My role in development is map design. That means I'm creator of a game world. And I came from a community of modders of those games. I started when I was 12, and I was not heading to be a developer, but when I was given a chance and an opportunity, I tried it, and now I work for SCS Software. So, what is my job about? We, as designers, do not only the beautiful environment around the roads. We mostly do roads and junctions itself. So we are kind of road network engineers or architects. And this, what you see here, this picture from Google Maps, is our goal is to recreate junctions like this. This is our task. And we do it because roads are the backbone of our gameplay. We pay attention to every detail on a road network because we pay attention to junctions and intersections and everything, because that is where player spend a lot of time waiting for a green light, waiting in a traffic jams, etc. And right now we are the most realistic truck simulator you can get. And our game world supports this idea with most complex road system created for any driving game. Our players live in the places we recreate to our games. They know the junctions, they know the exits, they know the roads. And we want to bring them one-to-one copy of what they know, because then they can behave and drive there as they are used to drive in real. And you know, everybody tried Free Roam in GTA, in Need for Speed. You want to drive because it's fun, but no other game has so sophisticated road network as we do. You can drive in our games on 2,000 kilometers of roads in American Truck Simulator. That represents more than 33,000 kilometers of real roads. Or if you want to drive in Europe, you can drive on 5,000 kilometers of roads. And this is, by the way, the biggest Europe for any driving game recreated to games ever. And that is possible thanks to our tools. We have custom engine, including custom map editor, released with every game with it. And it's simple to get the tools from the game, and thanks to this, we are still open and available for modders. Our engine is node-based, or our maps are node-based, so that means every single item is represented by one node. And thanks to this, our maps are heavily compressed and optimized. When we save the map, we don't store informations about vertices, about polygons. We just store simple informations about nodes. And this is much more editable than working with the big baked meshes like what the games do. Our games our game worlds have less than 100 megabytes of data. 100 megabytes. So other games with smaller worlds have to deal with much bigger amount of data than we. And the fundament of our world is road segment. It's controlled by node, as you see those 3 red points. Those are nodes, and we control the curve of the road with them. And again, we store only the position of the nodes. I'm going to show you what a simple segment of road can do in our engine. So we have a road placed from point A to point B. And this simple segment of road contains various textures. You can change the textures. So we have like 50 shades of gray with our asphalt textures, because that is what is our game about. We change the road lines and AI can react to them. So if you set the full line in the middle, AI will not overtake. Then you can generate terrains from the edges of the roads. You can set the distance, how far it should go, and what profile should it be. So again, we don't store information about vertices, just the profile ID, and it's quick and easy to use. Very easy. Then we have something we call railings, which is a repetitive model. You can see on the right side, repetitive model set in some offset from the main curve. And both of sides are controlled separately. And lamps, repetitive model. You set the distance, you set the offset, and you can set there anything. Repetitive signs like arrows in the curves or lamps, it saves us a lot of time doing these things. And on the left side, you can see changing vegetation profiles. We have parametrical vegetation, so it means you pick the model and then you pick from where to where and the density. And again, you can control both sides of road. So you set whatever density you want to set. If you want to have like forest or whatever, it's really free. So and when we have this, let's call it template or pattern, we set it as a default, and you can easily do roads as you want. Easy to use, very quick. We're trying to do roads as comfortable for players as possible. We make smooth curves because this is what matters. This is what our game is about. We set the pitch, roll, and everything that makes our games easier to play. Yeah, you can see setting height, and thanks to this, it's so funny to drive there. And thanks to this, we can recreate thousands of kilometers of roads. And again, we save only information of one node: what it do, what is there, and how it generates itself. And this is how the result looks like. The second important thing in our road system is prefab. It can do pretty much anything. What would you teach it? We use it for traffic lines, the green lines. You see the AI can behave more sophisticated there. Then we have traffic lights and spawn points for typical set of traffic or navigation signs. These things really help us to save a lot of time, because almost every junction, every crossroad, every intersection has the same signs on the same places. So why not save some time and generate it from spawn points, yeah? And we use it, this is how it looks like when we use it in game. Simple intersection or more complicated intersection, whatever makes sense to bake and to use it like one prefab. You can see the traffic lights there. So whole the intersection is controlled by traffic lights. AI can react to them, players are waiting them. And the second thing we use prefabs to are depots. Depots are places where players are taking the trailers and cargoes from and to. Few years ago, we used prefabs like this, giant, baked, created in Maya, but it took very long time to produce this. And the result was that we had only 4 or maybe 5 types of junctions in our games. And players wanted more, and we also wanted more. And also this has 25,000 triangles, plus giant collisions, and it had a little negative impact on the performance. So we decided to cut those giant prefabs into small pieces like exits, splits, joints, dividers, changes, or whatever you can imagine that change parameters of roads. And we have tons of those, let's call it Lego pieces or whatever, and our collection is still growing in hands of our talented people. And this is what we can do with that. This is a junction recreated one-to-one, exactly like it is in real. So we have much bigger variability. We did a lot of junctions, different sizes, different exit shapes, different layouts, different level of importance, whatever is important for our track simulators. Because junction for us isn't just a technical something that connects two roads. It's an orientation point for players. So that's why it's so important for us. We do mark exit numbers because trackers don't see signs like I'm going to Albuquerque, but they see I'm going to exit 34. That's why we do this kind of details. And with this, we have much more types of junctions. We have like 20 types of junctions per DLC. So it's not like 5 junctions for a whole game, but 20 for DLC. Most common junction in United States is called diamond. You see the shape, so diamond, yeah? And it's a simple junction for places where freeway meets the highway. And I would like to show you how easy it is to recreate this kind of junction with our tools. Okay, so we have 11 pieces of our road system, 6 prefabs, and 5 types of roads. Only one additional model. And we put the prefabs together. We set the distance for traffic to typically 15 meters, for traffic to leave the freeway and goes to highway, which is gonna be on the lower ground. There is exit road and a small intersection that connects 2 ramps from freeway and back to freeway. There will be 2 intersections like this, one for each way. Then I put the ramp back to freeway and put the mirrored prefabs from the left side. And the video is raw, how it was captured, not any faster, because I wanted to show you that all the process takes about 3 minutes, and it's so simple to do it. Yeah, so I have those prefabs connected, and now I can put the bridge. The terrains are generated automatically with some down profile, so it makes sense for the shape of junction. And now my favorite part, copy paste. I copy one part of junction and just connect it with the second part, put the missing piece, and that's it. Now I set the height that should be accurate, so players would be able to go under the bridges with oversized cargo. I align the layout a little bit because I want to have it nice and symmetrical. And only thing left, yeah, makes the bridge a little wider. Only thing left are terrains and additional models. I put there abutment. It's a technical term, but it represents those cement or concrete base of every bridge. So I put there 4 abutments. There hide some holes in terrains, and then I put the terrain. I snap it to the edge of a road, make it a little lower, and copy paste it to the opposite side. Again, snap, and this is it. Now I have 2 little holes on each side. So again, I put there a small piece of terrain, snap, 1 more, snap, and the hole is hidden. Now I copy paste it to opposite side, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm finished in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I have delivered a custom junction for American Truck Simulator, and this is how what the result looks like. Of course, not all junctions are so simple. Not every junction takes only 3 minutes. We have much more sophisticated layouts. We have much more sophisticated road networks on those junctions. So we have junctions that takes 1 week, 2 weeks, or even more. And this is how the result looks like in the game. Once we are done with the layout, we do some minor details, brush on the terrains, add some vegetation, and all the art around the junction. And this is how the result looks like in New Mexico we just released last week. We have variants of junctions, unique junctions, like this kind of specific thing. This is a train station placed in the middle of junction. I couldn't believe it exists, but this is something that our players recognize because they know these junctions and they know, okay, this is in Santa Fe, I know that, and I'm on this junction, so I know where I am. I don't need to have UI, GPS or something. Our players love landmarks on those junctions, like those 2 totems. Again, it represents something they may recognize and they may know. And our top of our showcase between junctions is this little monster composed from 118 pieces of our road system, prefabs and road segments. And it took about 1 month to get this result. And it's also a landmark, thanks to that you see the patterns with colored gravel on the ground. So this is what I'm talking about. Rich road network is what supports realism of track simulating games. This is pretty much what I wanted to say you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask whatever you want to ask to.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for the interesting talk. I have one question. Since you are optimizing a lot of road network systems, or even if you would build fictional systems, do you also work with government agencies on road and traffic network design? Because it seems like you must have become really good at designing these things over the past 15 years.
We don't communicate with the government, but we are reading their technical terms and whatever guides about how should it be done. Like, for example, in America, when we were studying navigation science, only just navigation science, it was alchemy about how to make it correct. We read like 700 pages of how it's done. This is what is our design about.
So, but I could imagine for like government agencies who build actual roads to use truck driving simulator to simulate their roads, because you can also simulate different traffics. So my question was more kind of like if you have ever been approached from this side at all, because it seems such a natural fit.
Some people talk with us about that we have a really rich road network, and they were trying to apply some intelligence, and they tested it on our games. I don't know the people, I never met them, but it's a thing our bosses typically do. Thank you. And if you don't have any question, I would like to say thank you for your attention.